Good morning from Tinkerer's Paradise. This is Patty, the Tinkerer's wife, here in Portland, Oregon. I wanted to share with you today, it's Tuesday, it's video day, wanted to share with you today an update on what the Tinkerer's been up to. Yes, he's been busy building. I'm very excited about these, we all know that, but I want to share with you I gotta quit saying that. I wanted to share with you some important things as to why he did things the way he did here. And first off, I want to talk about the wood. And I know a lot of people have negative response to not outdoor wood, but treated lumber. That is me also. That was his choice. At that point, he was being very, opinionated about it. The one thing he didn't do, which I thought he was going to do, and I'm glad he didn't, was get just plain fir. That would have been bad. At least this won't rot right away. It'll take a long time. And actually, there's not going to be any plant material up against it because we're going to have corrugated metal here. So the walls are going to be corrugated metal. Yep. So this will be good. Another thing he did, it's like, okay, so why did he have to put those up on top of those blocks, and why does he have the blocks in there in the first place? Let me tell you. Actually, I think it's a good thing. The blocks, or the cement pavers, I should call them what they are. The cement pavers are for kind of three reasons. Two reasons are keeping things like tree roots. They help to keep the fabric down so tree roots aren't as likely to find the little spaces between and make it up into the beds. And the other thing is we have voles that travel and rats that travel in the mole runs here. And so that will keep them from coming through and chewing through that plastic, which they could do very easily to access our beds. So I'm liking this idea. And the final reason is the wood isn't touching the ground, and the cement will keep the wood drier than it would if it was right on the ground. So for that reason, I say kudos to the tinkerer for putting his thinking cap on and giving us really good sturdy beds. Let's kind of walk through here. This one is 7 feet by 10 feet, and this one is 9 feet by 3 feet. And because there's a 2x4 on top of them, we reduce the space. These are not true 2-inch by 4-inch with the way they cut lumber. So this isn't quite, might be 8.5 feet, 8.5 feet probably. So I can live with that. Now the other thing he's going to do is he's going to put 2x6s. They'll be miter cut here on top of here, so we'll have a place to sit that will be sturdy, and we'll be able to, if there's any weeds that get in there, if there's any managing of the plants we have to do, it'll be a lot easier. And I like the bed height because most of the things you'd have to bend down to the ground to get, I hardly have to bend over at all. So that helps me. So this is a good height for someone who has a back injury that can't do much bending over. That'll be really good. I'm looking forward to this. The soil mix we're doing is going to be compost, and I'm going to put some composted steer manure in it, and also some peat moss, because I've not had good luck with regular compost and 4-way mixes here. They usually have way too much wood in them because we have a lot of wood here. They do put a lot of wood in them. So I'm thinking the peat moss will help that. It might mean that we need to sweeten the soil just a little bit. That's okay, I don't mind. But I want to have a really good foundation. I'm going to get some, what do I want to say? Blah, blah, blah. is it green sand or whatever. I got to get something to add some phosphorus into the soil, and a little bit of potassium, you know, just as a good foundation. Rock dust, I think, is what all you guys out there in the southeast and northeast call it. So I'm going to do that. I want to make sure that we have a really good foundation for growing our veggies. Normally, I just kind of grow with what I've got and fertilize them a little bit, and I'm not a great plant nurturer. I can propagate till the cows come home, but nurturing plants has never really been my forte. I can do them in, when I say containers, I'm pretty good at that. But vegetables, for some reason, I don't know. So I'm going to see if I can get the tinkerer involved, because he's actually getting interested in these things. Let me show you what his little tree that he pruned the holy moly out of last fall. I was almost mad at him. He really whacked at this thing, and the shape looks better. It's growing fabulously. It seems to really like that. And he's managing it so that it's open in the center here, so it'll have good air circulation. And he's pretty excited about that. So I'm letting him experiment. This was a sucker off of a tree next door. It was, I think, an Italian plum, if I remember right. And if that comes true, if that wasn't just a root stock plant, I'll be really happy, because that was a really tasty plum. And we dry it and make Hamantaschen cookies and other prune filling kind of things out of it. It's also good for fresh eating. Our little berry plants here, he noticed that there's 2 different kinds here, and so we're going to see what those are. Isn't that fun? So he's been having fun. I'm gonna point him to some primal cane pruning videos so he can learn how to do that. He's finding YouTube to be inspiring. I'm very happy. I wanted to show you this, so before I get out of here. I'm not gonna make this too awful long, I hope. I say that and then I go 18 minutes or so. This is Australian mint bush, and I've shown this on earlier videos, and it was just a little spit of a thing. Well, it's gotten nice leaves and the flowers now. Look at those. But look at those with this curly marjoram, this curly golden marjoram. Isn't that lovely? I really like it. That's a little better face for it. Don't you love that? The other thing I love is this millium, the inflorescence on the millium. They're just froth up on top, just like a cloud. I will have seeds that I'm going to collect from this, so be watching for the announcement when I have seeds, and I'll be sharing those, just a self-addressed stamped envelope. I guess that means I'm going to have to get a post office box, because I don't want the world knowing my address. As most YouTubers know, that can be dangerous. Oh, another update here. This little pot here that has the Ilex pagoda in it, the hosta. I was telling you how hostas work really well in containers. This is one example, and because they don't require a lot of water, you can grow them underneath shrubs like this. This works really well. I just make sure that when I water this, I water it deeply, let it go through, water it deeply again, and that usually takes care of it. I also have, this is a Nepeta seedling. I am not sure what kind it is. I just know that it's a Nepeta. I know it's not catmint, or catnip. This is a catmint, definitely. And then the horehound, which is getting ready to flower up here at the top. So that's just some updates there. My Okinawa spinach, which is getting to be of some good size. These are plants that I'll be offering locally if you're in the Portland area. I can't remember if I said that. Forgive me if I'm repeating myself. I got to put this back over here. And I want to show you another example of the hosta in containers. I want you to look at that. Oh, get my fingers in the way. pretty is that? Japanese painted fern. Yeah. If you're wondering about the postal flat, we got that at the thrift store. Talk to the thrift store post office. That's kind of my thing on it. We've had that for years. My husband bought it. So yeah, the other things, look at this Japanese painted fern. Boy, if you can grow these things, they're so stunning. The black mondo grass looks really great with it. And I want to show you one more thing here. I received this rose from a woman in Eastern Oregon. Sorry, it's flaring. It's a really beautiful soft yellow. I don't think you can see it quite right there, little pieces of it. It's very thorny, but it was brought over by her grandmother on the Oregon Trail. Or maybe it was her great-grandma. Anyway, it was brought across on the Oregon Trail by her family. And I've been trying to give this to the Zimmerman Heritage Farm because that's where it's supposed to go. Trying to get somebody to respond to me because I don't want to just set it on the porch over there and have somebody walk off with it. And have them plant it somewhere on their property with a little note about where it came from, because I think that would be really nice. That's one thing I think these heritage sites, or these sites like the Zimmerman Heritage Farm that have museums, plants are also important to the history of an area. I know those of you in Appalachia areas, you can relate to that especially, but here in Oregon, most of our museums focus on the hard goods and not so much on the plants that made the place that was so strange home. And I used to be the one who, at the Zimmerman farm, who identified all the plants and saved them from the weed eaters and learned their stories. So I have a really good feel for this history and the importance of plants, and I love it. And I urge you, if you're in an area that has a historical museum that does things with gardens and stuff, that you go and you learn, especially if you like plants. It's amazing the things that you have that they can teach you there. Sorry, I'm not talking very good. I'm trying to walk and talk at the same time. I'm having problems. Anyway, I'm just going to say goodbye for now, and I thank you for spending time with me. This is Patty, the Tinkerer's wife. God bless.